Welcome to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, the show that helps you sort through all of the trends, new and old, of the fitness world. We'll talk about yoga, running, Zumba, weightlifting, and everything in between. Whether you've got your fitness routine down to a science or you're just starting out and looking for direction, you'll find educational and entertaining information on the GSMC Fitness Podcast. Welcome to the GSMC Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra. Today, we are going to talk about triceps, hormones, and exercising based on your mood. So, let's dive into the triceps. Now, I picked triceps because I've noticed it's a common problem area for a lot of people. Not that you have to have it super defined. That's not a requirement. But a lot of people want to be evenly toned throughout the body. And the triceps that's a specific area of the arm that usually, it seems like for a lot of people, needs a little bit extra work to get that tonnage that we want. The thing about the triceps is it's an area of the body that just tends to store excess fat. Like a lot of people, obviously it depends on the person, but in general, the triceps, the belly, sometimes the thighs, these are all common areas that we may store extra fat. And the interesting thing about the tricep is that actually takes up more of the arm than the bicep. Yet we tend to focus our attention on the bicep because, it's like it's on top and then it's in the front. So it's a little bit more visible. But we like that even definition throughout. And it actually is super, super important for anyone trying to build up muscle. It's suggested you start from your weaker muscles first, which makes sense. You want to try and even out everything. And you have to build up your triceps or you will not be able to build up the bicep. But even if you're not trying to build up muscle, just getting toned, it can be difficult. So the thing about working out is you can't spot reduce fat. When you are exercising and your body is burning fuel, it's burning whatever it is, the sugars, the extra stored fats in your body, it just grabs it from wherever it feels like grabbing it. So if you're trying to lose weight in specific areas, don't stress. Really don't stress. Don't be so particular about certain areas of the body. As you get healthier and healthier, your body will adjust to its natural, healthy shape, and you will start losing the extra fat in different areas of your body. It just takes some time, but it'll happen. Don't stress about it. Now, you really got to focus on losing overall body fat. Don't think of it in individual places. That'll help reduce your stress. Because the thing is, it's possible you might lose body fat somewhere else first. You might lose it in your belly first. You might lose it in your thighs first. You might lose it somewhere else, right? It's not guaranteed you're going to lose it in your arms first. You can lose it, just not first. That's why don't stress yourself out by being particular and staring in the mirror at specific spots you're unhappy with. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't spot exercise, I guess. You shouldn't not do that. So you still want to work out your triceps if you want them to be toned. That's not to say you should avoid other parts of your body, because obviously that's not good. But you should definitely work out your triceps and do specific exercises if you're trying to get them toned. You just have to adjust your diet if you haven't already and you're not seeing progress in losing fat in any area. Adjust your diet, keep working out, and once you're at a decent fat to muscle ratio, you will start noticing the definition more, because the thing about the muscles is they can get defined even if there's a certain percentage of fat on top. It just might be less visible. So keep doing cardio, keep doing strength, you'll get there. Don't stress. So there are definitely different tricep workouts you can try to do. I personally just keep it minimal. I try not to stress about it, even though it's one of my problem areas. It takes a little bit longer to get toned than anything else, but it gets there. It goes up and down depending on what's happening in my life, but I don't stress. So I'm just going to give you some names of some exercises you can try. So kneeling tricep extensions with weights. So you can definitely use weights. Lighter weights definitely work. I would start light and just do more reps, at least for now. If you feel like you need to go a little stronger, go a little stronger. But nothing's wrong with starting with light weights or even no weights at all and doing simple exercises like this until you get used to it. Kneeling tricep extensions with weights. Plank to row and tricep kickback combo. So this one's interesting. Definitely never done this one before. I don't really do planks a lot, but they definitely train the arms. So push-ups, planks, anything like that, those are helpful. And the tricep kickback. So the thing about your triceps they're in the back of the arms. So you want to make sure you're doing exercises that move your arms back. Bridge with tricep extension or reverse plank tricep dips. All of these are good. The important thing to remember is to take your time. When we work out, well, I shouldn't say we, I don't know if everyone does this, but in general, when we work out, we focus on counting because we have a specific number in mind, or maybe not a specific number, but a specific goal, and we're just counting towards that goal. Maybe you're not sure how much you can take, so you're just counting to keep track. It's not about numbers. If you're doing strength, the reason you see clips or videos of bodybuilders moving so slowly is not because they can't go faster. It's because they get more benefit. There's more training there. That's why if you take a class or you go to a coach or something, especially with stuff like Pilates, they tell you to hold your position, and it is so much more exhausting than actually doing a movement. I mean, in simple everyday life, when you just stand there, standing is so much more exhausting than walking because it's a constant pressure on your leg muscles. But when you move them, it's definitely more relaxing. They're doing something, the blood's flowing, it's just easier. So don't stress on counting and doing tons of reps or doing super heavy weights. Focus on going slow and steady, and you will get a better workout, and your triceps will get toned. It just might take a little bit of time. You have to be patient. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about how to organize your strength workouts.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back. In the first segment, we talked about triceps and toning and how that's one of the common problem areas for working out. So let's talk about organizing our strength workouts. When I was talking about triceps, I mentioned how you need to not stress about fat loss in specific areas. You need to just do full body workouts, work out everything, and your body will adjust and you will lose the weight. It's fine. But when you're doing strength workouts, there are so many muscles. Like it's honestly impossible to keep track and make sure you work out every single little one. So you can't think of it like that. That's impossible and stressful to think about, honestly. So don't worry so much because you need to group muscles together. When you group them together, things get easier, less stressful. You can organize your week easier, and you'll get a better workout actually, because when you work out certain muscles, you're working out other muscles too, because the whole body's attached. You're going to move your whole body regardless. So different workouts will affect multiple groups of muscles. So if you're not sure how exactly they blend together, these are a few groups that go together. So arms, legs, and glutes. Now legs and glutes is a no-brainer, but grouping arms in that can be helpful for some people too. So it depends on you how you want to do that. Definitely legs and glutes, but arms can be included as well. Biceps, thighs, and back. Again, biceps is a little bit further away, but connected by the back. The thing is, this helps keep your workout a little bit balanced. So you're not necessarily only focused on one area of the body if you don't want to be. Because I personally don't like that. I feel off balance if I do that. I don't know why. I just do. I have to do a whole full body workout. I don't like splitting upper half, lower half, or things like that. So biceps, thighs, back, a good way to kind of include the whole body, but also a little bit focused. Abdominal and back, those are definitely good together. And the thing about abdominals is you automatically work out the legs and glutes when you do those. So abdominal, I can't speak apparently. Abdominal and back together. Chest and triceps. These are definitely two that are good together. Anything chest and arm related, doing them together is good. Triceps, I think it's definitely good to split them up from the biceps, if that's something that you're really, really focused on, because you don't want your arms to be exhausted from the bicep workout. You want to focus on the triceps and you will get more done, more progress in that area. And it can help you just center and focus and not worry about being too exhausted to finish a workout. Chest, shoulders, arms, definitely another good grouping. They all go together. So it's important to group things together, especially if you have very, very strict goals and very, maybe it seems like a long path for you to reach, but you have a very strict specific goal. you may get drained working out on too many muscle groups in one session, particularly if it's a more intense workout. That's why when I do, even though I do full body every time I work out, pretty much, I adjust. I'll do more of one section and less of another if I feel like it needs more work. And sometimes I'll even switch up the order of what I do to make sure I'm not too tired by the end to do the last few workouts properly. So you need to keep that in mind. You don't want to get drained and not be able to work out everything. Another thing that's important is even though you're splitting up the muscle groups, you're doing different things on whatever days, however you decide to do it, it's probably not a good idea to do each small group once a week. Like have, 2 days of cardio and then 3 days where you split your body into 3 sections and do those each once a week. That's not great. You can do it that way. It's not that you're going to make zero progress, but it's better to be consistent and be able to work out your muscles more regularly. I mean, when you work them out regularly, you're going to make more progress, of course. So try, if possible, to do 3 times a week. Whatever it is you're doing, whatever groups, 3 times a week. So maybe you can split it into 2 sections for strength and swap them out and do cardio in between. That's one way to do it. Or if you want to add cardio to a strength workout, depending on what your strength workout is, I don't know if you want to do half and half. I kind of like to do a little bit half and half sometimes. That could also be a good way to go, a good option. And an interesting suggested grouping I've seen if you want to split your body into 3 sections is chest, shoulders, triceps for one day, back, biceps, abs another day, and then hamstrings, quads, calves. So basically it's, upper body, kind of mid body, and lower body. Seems pretty standard. Seems like the obvious choice for splitting up your workouts if you want to do it that way. And again, keep in mind, when you split it up, that doesn't mean the rest of your body is doing nothing, so don't stress too much. Just make sure you're working out everything as evenly as possible. It just, it depends on your goals, what you're working for your body. And based on that, you can decide how you want to organize it. I like overall workouts, but I adjust. If, for example, actually they're still sore, but 2 days ago, my legs and glutes were sore, very sore. And so I decided to have more of a focus the next day on my arms and chest. And lo and behold, the day after, arms and chest were definitely a little bit sore. Arms mainly, actually, not chest. But the thing is, I paid attention to my body, felt the reaction, and adjusted. I still work out everything, but I just like feeling it out. As I've mentioned 1,000 times, I really think it's a good way to go and to help you not get too stressed out about your workouts. We are going to take another break. When we come back, let's talk about how dopamine is linked to snacking and overeating.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back. In the last segment, we talked about grouping your strength workouts, grouping your body, and making sure you're working out all the muscles. Now let's talk about hormones. Specifically, let's talk about dopamine. So dopamine is a hormone linked with pleasure. And a study showed, there have been studies that have shown that dopamine is linked to snacking and overeating. And that kind of explains a lot, actually. When we do anything we enjoy, regardless of what it is, our body will create dopamine. So whether we're eating sugar, whether we're looking at social media, whatever it is we enjoy, our body creates dopamine. And exercise is included in that because your body craves it. It wants to crave it. It wants you to do it because, your body just knows what's good for it. It gives you signals, right? And so creating dopamine while you exercise, and endorphins and serotonin, all of these hormones make you crave working out each time. So it makes sense. Your body craves it, creates dopamine. Just like with anything else we enjoy. Eating things we enjoy creating dopamine doesn't mean that you have to eat gross things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying go get some vegetables that you hate and make a really weird salad, but even though you know it's healthy, and you force yourself to eat it and it's just disgusting and it's really hard to choke down. I'm not asking you to do that. And actually, please don't do that. That sounds awful and you will hate it and you will break. It will be harmful. So don't stress about eating gross things. Just think about it this way, okay? When you eat chocolate, for example, it doesn't fill you up, but you enjoy it. Soda fills you up, but it makes you feel thirsty, so you want more of it. And these things have so many sugars, calories, blah, blah, blah. So you want to train yourself to eat things that you enjoy, but are, they're still healthy. They make you stop. That's why people say eat a lot of whole grains. Whole grains fill you up. They make you full. But there are ways to enjoy them. You don't have to eat oatmeal in the morning. If you don't like oatmeal, don't eat oatmeal. There are other options for breakfast, I promise. There's so many things to choose from. You don't have to stick to things you automatically think you should eat. If you don't like brown rice, don't eat brown rice. Eat something else. There are other ways to incorporate whole grains into your diet. You've got to train yourself. You have to get out of the habit of snacking by replacing these snacks with other things that you enjoy. Don't make yourself hate the food you're eating. If you do that, you're automatically gonna head for the unhealthy things, the things that are making you lose progress. So this is something that my family has done my entire life. That might be helpful to you. If you have snacks in the house, put them away in a cupboard. I haven't had snacks in the house for a really long time because honestly, if I buy snacks, they will be gone very quickly. I have no self-control. So I don't really buy them that often. What happens is if there's fruit in the house, there's always fruit in the house, but with the fruit, depending on what it is, usually grapes or something that you can easily pick up and eat immediately. We stick it in a bowl and we leave it out in the living room, in the kitchen, wherever your hangout spots in the house are or places you walk by often. See, when this happens, this is what you'll do. If you're sitting in the living room watching TV, you want a snack, but you don't want to get up. Oh, look, you have some grapes right there. Pop a few in your mouth. You don't need more than that. You wait a little bit, you want a little more, grab more. You are going to the kitchen to get a snack. Oh, look, you don't have to prepare a snack. It's right there on the counter. You can just grab a handful of blueberries, whatever it is, pop them in your mouth, you're good to go. Then at night, when you're cleaning up, just put them back in the fridge. Simple. It's simple, it's quick, it's immediate, and it's still sweet, right? It's fruit. It's something to distract your taste buds and get that sweetness out of your system so you don't want chocolate or cake or ice cream or cookies or whatever it is that you like to eat. Get out of the habit of getting sweet, unhealthy things for snacks. Try fruit. If you need something sweet, pick a sweet fruit that you can, that you can leave out. Like chop up some watermelon or cantaloupe or honeydew ahead of time. Those are pretty sweet. There's certain types of grapes that are super sweet, but I'm not a fan of those, to be honest. Cherries. Cherries are good ones. Bananas, obviously, you don't put those in the fridge. That can be a good snack, especially after a workout. You will need that banana. So try to trick yourself. Try to do little things like that to help you out. We're going to take another quick little break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about hormones and how hormones affect body fitness and vice versa.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back. Let's talk about hormones, not just dopamine. Dopamine obviously is something big that affects us. Let's expand from dopamine into other things. So forget about snacking and overeating. Just let that leave your mind. Let's talk about hormones. Hormones affect our bodies a lot in a lot of different ways, and certain hormones are very specific and may affect men more than women or women more than men. Obviously, we're all different, but I found some interesting information regarding some of them. See, the idea with hormones is that, in general, the consensus is when you work out, you have positive reactions. Your body creates hormones that are helpful to you. And when you don't work out, your body doesn't really create these hormones as much. But something else that's interesting is if you work out too much, that can be harmful to your body. Now, that's not likely something you need to worry about. However, it should be relaxing to know that you don't need to stress yourself out to make progress. You don't need to exhaust yourself to the bone to make progress. So let's break these down a little bit. Let's talk about insulin. So, in general, more insulin, the more the body stores fat. You get this from carbs and sugar. So that can be seen as a bad thing, obviously, but that doesn't mean we don't need insulin. You obviously need carbs and sugars for your brain function, for energy. I love carbs to death, and I'm a huge fan of carbs, and I don't care how much people say you need to cut out carbs. Like, obviously portions are important, but especially if you do a lot of cardio and maybe you do a sport that requires you to be a little bit more lean, like swimming or running, that requires a bit more carbs than you might expect. You definitely need those carbs and sugars for energy. So don't stress, but insulin definitely affects our body in that way. Next is cortisol. Now, I've talked about it before. It supports the metabolism and it gives us energy for longer exercise. So it helps us with our endurance, which is awesome. We can get more done, make a little bit more progress. The thing is, though, too much can increase our appetite. So that's the other thing. When I say don't make yourself exhausted when you work out, I really mean please don't make yourself exhausted when you work out. If you go overboard after your workout, you're going to be so hungry, you're going to gorge. You don't want to gorge. You want to eat slowly because, like I said before, slowly helps control your portions. And you want to have that hunger controlled enough that you have the control to eat something healthier. Because, when you're really hungry, you kind of crave the unhealthy things and you go to those. That's why they say don't go shopping when you're hungry. You're going to buy a bunch of junk you don't need. And you will definitely eat that junk. Next are estrogen and progesterone. Now, people usually associate these with women and with fertility, and obviously those affect that for women. But something you definitely need to know is that they need to be kept in balance, and they actually can help burn body fat and promote sleep. That's why for some people, especially in modern day life, I'm not going to go into detail with it, but some women in particular may have estrogen be a bit more dominant, and that could cause a slower metabolism and bloating. So, keep that in mind. You need to have the right balance. A little off topic, but if you take birth control, that's why certain ones you may not react super positively to. So, discuss that with your doctor. But keep that in mind, that having a balance of these hormones is very important. Don't stress about it, obviously. It's not something we can directly control. I just find this information so interesting. There's so much in our body that affects us. Then the human growth hormone, I've talked about it before. Our body will naturally produce it after intense exercise, and it burns fat before anything else, because if you want to be careful not to burn muscle, because your body can do that, but that's not likely to happen. In general, your body goes to the fat first, and the human growth hormone definitely helps with that, and your body naturally produces it. I mean, it naturally produces all of these. It's not something you need to stress about. And obviously there's testosterone, which helps build muscle, burns fat, and increases energy. Now it's slightly different building up testosterone depending on if you're a man and woman. The recommendations are mildly different, but in general, just you exercise, your body's going to create more of it. Simple. And women, don't be worried about producing too much testosterone. Just exercise normally. You'll be fine, I promise. And then just a little note about progesterone. Excess exercise reduces those levels, but yeah, again, not something I think you need to worry about. So there are definitely different exercises that are recommended based on your mood, because it's also based on the hormones that your body either has already created that day, so you need to balance it, or based on what you need to do to produce more of a specific hormone to kind of fix your mood or help adjust your mood. And I've never thought about it like that before. That's why I'm giving you this list of hormones. It's not to stress about each of them and making sure you're producing enough. You can't keep track of that, and you shouldn't. However, just know that all these hormones are working together to help you, and you can do things to encourage them to work well together. For example, high-intensity interval training is a great thing to do. However, it's a very bad idea if you've had a stressful day. You don't want something super intense that's going to create more cortisol. Your body will be you'll be so anxious, and you'll just have so much negative energy, and you'll get exhausted very, very quickly. Whenever someone is tense and stressed, they get exhausted quicker. So high intensity is not a good idea for a stressful day. This is why I'm such an advocate for adjusting. I don't do schedules with working out at all. I prefer a casual, pay attention to your body routine, and this is one of the reasons why. If you're stressed, don't do high intensity. It's really not a good idea. The other thing is, I've said it before and I'll say it again, do not be stationary. That will discourage all of these lovely hormones. You need to move throughout the day. Don't sit at your desk. If you're at work and you can't get up and walk around too often for whatever reason, you can still move. You can stand up, you can stretch at your desk, shake it out, and sit back down. And if you can leave your desk, get up, take a quick walk around the office, do like 2 loops, whatever it is. Keep moving. Even these small movements will help encourage these lovely hormones that are super, super helpful. So don't stress about each individual hormone. Just keep in mind that how you're feeling is a response to whatever chemical your body's producing based on physical or mental activity, and you need the physical to match your mental mood. We are actually going to touch on that a little bit more after the break.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Welcome back. So we touched on hormones earlier and how they affect our bodies and our fitness. I want to expand on that idea even more. Now, I'm not going to go crazy into the science of it. We don't need to do that. But I found this interesting article by US News called The Best Exercises for Every Mood. So there's this fitness coach. Her name is Jen Gottlieb. And she doesn't give clients a plan for workouts. Even if they begged her for one to tell them what to do, she didn't tell them what to do. All she said was, she doesn't care, just move your body in ways that feel good 6 times a week. I think that's amazing. It's a little bit, unconventional for a fitness coach to say something like that and have an attitude like that, but I am 100% on board with that. Like, what a healthy mindset. That's such a good way to look at it. And I think that she's my interpretation is she's really trying to get her clients to understand that you need to enjoy your workouts. There's actually studies that show, I'm not saying it's a super common study that's been done, but it has been shown that going to the gym is linked to working out less. Now, this is absolutely talking about the average person. Going to the gym can be very discouraging for a lot of people. Understandably so. There are lots of different reasons to not want to go to the gym. Or once you start, you stop going. And in general, the base reason is you just don't enjoy it. I mean, if you enjoy something enough, you're going to find a way to keep doing it. That's in general how we are. But if we don't like it enough, we'll keep making excuses and we're not going to do it. So I think Jen Gottlieb has an amazing mindset, and what a good idea to get her clients used to thinking in that way. So the way you work out, one way to think about it is you need to gauge your mood and move whatever way you want to move. So, for example, when I was able to go to dance regularly, I went 4 to 5 times a week. Initially, I went 4 times, but then I increased it to 5 times a week, and I rarely missed a day. Plus, on top of that, when the weather was good, I would bike 3 times a week. 2 hours, okay? A little less than 2 hours, but hour 40, let's say. Hour 40. Riding a bike 3 times a week. Plus the 4 to 5 times a week dancing. Plus the occasional hike on the weekends. Because there were mountains everywhere. I mean, you guys should have seen this city I lived in when I was abroad. You stand anywhere if you're not next to a taller building. You look in any direction, you see mountain range. You see mountains in the distance. I was in a really beautiful spot. Plus, on top of all of that, because I was abroad, my transportation options were, more casual, more limited, not cars like, America runs on cars, very much so. So I walked a lot of places, or I took my bike for transportation. And even when I took the bus, I ended up having to walk because, bus stops don't take you exactly where you need to go. So all of this was just natural in my lifestyle at the time, and I just really enjoyed it. I didn't think, I have to work out. I have to do this to stay in shape. None of that crossed my mind. I was simply thinking, I love what I'm doing and I'm getting in shape doing it. Like, that's great. The only thing I was stressing about was food, because cooking wasn't a huge option because time and a lot of different reasons. But I just had to pay more attention to my diet than anything else. But anything active, I did it because I loved it. And I didn't stress about the fact that, I'm trying to get in shape, I'm trying to reach this goal. I didn't think about that once. So I know I've said before that goals can absolutely be encouraging and helpful, but if the goal is stressing you out, don't have a goal. Just find something active that you enjoy and forget the goal, and you'll reach it without even realizing it. On that note, if you're excited, if you're in a really good mood, either you woke up on the right side of the bed, or you love that today is sunny, or something great happened, you had good news, whatever it is that makes you feel excited, and you're in that great energetic mood, put that to good use. Use that energy and do something more intense. This would be the time to do high intensity interval training. That's the best time to do it, when you are energetic, not when you're stressed. When I would go to dance class on a bad day, it definitely affected my performance. And the teacher could tell. I mean, even we could tell when she was having an off day. We didn't have any worse of a lesson, but we could tell her mood was different, and she could tell my progress that day was different, and she wouldn't pick on me as much to improve because she could tell, like, today's just not my day. Now, I didn't always go to class on a, bad mood day, but I did try to go just because I knew I would enjoy it. Not every time, but maybe about half the time. If I had a bad day and still went to class, about half the time, by the end of class, I would be in a good mood. Because when you exercise, your body produces those endorphins, and you love it. Sometimes it's not quite enough to get you in a good mood, though, so just, gauge it. And if you're anxious, if you're not in a great mood, you're anxious specifically, again, you can use that energy to work out, channel it into your workout. Force your mind to think about something specific. Don't do something mundane. Don't let your mind be active and make you your nerves more on edge by taking a walk, for example. Do something specific. Go to a dance class, or learn a new aerobic routine, or take a martial arts course, or something like that. Yoga. I'd say yoga's iffy, actually, because you are working on specific moves, but it's a bit slower and you still have time to think. So try to do something a little bit active, but your mind has something to focus on. Because honestly, if I do workouts that require counting, even if I'm in a good mood, I can get distracted and get my numbers off. So make sure you keep your mind focused on something to help distract the anxiety, but also use that pent-up energy. Then if you're sad, honestly, I think it depends. If you're sad, you might want to take a slow day and just not do anything, just regular everyday movement, nothing more than that. Or go for a walk. I think sadness needs something slower. So you could do yoga, you could go for a walk, you could swim, but more relaxed. Don't do anything intense. Just float around, do a couple laps. So pick something a little bit more relaxing if you choose to work out when sad. Then there's anger. So usually with anger, people suggest things like kickboxing or boxing or anything like that. I am personally against that. Obviously it's up to you, it's your decision, but my thing is, I think it's because I took Taekwondo for a very long time and I started at a young age. I was in late elementary school when I started. So I have a different mindset. In general with martial arts, any martial art, the number one rule is if you're in a dangerous position and you can run, run. You should not use what you've learned. You should run if you can. So martial arts are against violence. Ironic, right? They're very peaceful and relaxing and for self-defense and health and peace of mind. So if you're angry, I think nothing's wrong with letting off steam by kickboxing and stuff like that if that helps you personally and doesn't harm you mentally. But for me, it just personally doesn't help me. I think it's just, one, it honestly is just my personality, and two, it's kind of ingrained in me a little bit to, I don't know, have a more calming mindset regarding fighting, which is kind of strange. So if I'm angry, I prefer something like biking, something that requires endurance, because that anger can help push you through endurance. And, anger uses a lot of energy, honestly, so you're probably not going to last that long, but it will help get that energy out quicker, and you'll feel calmer and relaxed afterwards, and hopefully that dopamine has kicked in a little bit and you can relax. You could go for a walk, but I feel like that's not active enough. If you're feeling lazy, you could rest, or you could do something simple like stretch or walk. That's up to you. I think it's similar to sadness. Just gauge how you feel and experiment with it. The idea is, to put it simply, it's not how much you do, it's what you do. On that note, let's take another break. When we come back, we're going to expand on this idea a little bit. We're going to talk about exercising based on mood and how that's better, even though it could take up a little bit more of your time in the beginning.
Pets bring such joy to our lives, and the GSMC Pets podcast is here to share in that joy. We'll tell stories of pets finding their forever homes, acting in unexpected ways, being helpful, or just being silly. Whether you love dogs, cats, llamas, reptiles, fish, or you've never met an animal you didn't like, the GSMC Pets podcast is for you.
Welcome back. So I realized the end of the last segment might have confused you a little bit. So we talked a little bit about mood and what kind of exercises you can do based on your mood. And so I ended off saying that exercising based on your mood can take more time, but it might be more beneficial to you. So what do I mean by take more time? I mean that if you have a strict regimen, something that you're going to follow, a plan, that's great. You follow the plan, you make progress, and you adjust as necessary, but you're still making that progress. If you're exercising based on your mood, it's kind of what I do. You are not following a strict schedule. You simply need to remember that you have to work out at some point regularly, and just include it in your routine and use those emotions to your benefit, to your advantage. And the thing is, this takes a little bit of adjusting, especially if you're used to more structure. And it might take time in the beginning to figure out what suits you, what do you enjoy doing, what helps you work out more and want to work out more, and be excited about it and get in these good moods, or be able to adjust your mood no problem with a workout, or having that workout help your mood, I guess. Honestly, right now, I'm in a stage where I don't mind working out. I don't not enjoy it. I do enjoy it a little bit, but it's kind of a don't mind attitude. The reason is I am just doing regular workouts right now. See, I enjoy it more once I start, or if I plan to include dance into my routine. And that's the thing. That's something I've noticed, and so I want to adjust. Since I'm currently unable to actually get lessons, which makes me so sad. You guys have no idea how much I miss dancing in a classroom with a teacher who can push me and teach me new things. I just really want to go back to doing that, but I can't right now. So I include regular strength and cardio workout things that regular people do. It's not a specific lesson, just to stay in shape, to stay fit. And the dopamine's the reason more than anything I enjoy it, or it's a good excuse to listen to a bunch of music for a really long time. Because music, honestly, can distract me from my work, because I like listening to the lyrics. What I want to do, since I've noticed this about myself, I've kind of created this plan. I want to create dance schedules for myself until I can get lessons again. So like a regular lesson, like I'd go into dance class, we would start with a simple stretch during one song, and then it'd move on to the next song, and we'd do a specific move. And after the first few individual moves, or for the more advanced class, like we would do a move for like half the song, and then we would do combination moves to practice with transitions and help with choreography later. Obviously, I don't know all the moves, and I need to be careful about my form because I have no one watching me. I want to make sure I do it correctly. But if I can find video support and images, and I can just think about my regular routines I used to do, I can create this dance routine to help me work out. Now, I do include dancing in my normal workouts, but now I do include dancing in my normal workouts. After I do regular workouts, I include dance into it. However, it's not the same as creating something organized like a teacher would and changing it up each lesson. So I want to start doing that. I want to create a collection of different lessons, sort of, and incorporate that into my routine, and hopefully I can do enough, make it strong enough that it can replace these workouts, and I can just work out through my dancing. We'll see. Recently, before I start doing that, I've been including a sort of freestyle dance at the end of what I do, because it's, I don't know, it's freeing, it's fun, it's practice doing freestyle dance, and I get in that cardio, especially if the weather's bad and I can't really go outside or anything like that. Now, I'm happy with my fitness level despite having certain goals. I am fit. It's not that I'm not, but there are certain things that are a little more tiring than they used to be when I dance now, which kind of makes me sad. It means I'm out of practice, even though I still practice, but I don't practice enough, and I need to add more variety to my practicing. Being fit helps anything you do, obviously, but it doesn't mean you can do everything, so don't be discouraged if you ever try something new and it's super, super difficult. For example, while I was going to dance class, I had a friend who was a Pilates instructor, and I was like, I don't even know what Pilates is, really. I don't get it. I want to try it. So I went to one of her classes. Oh my God, it was exhausting. It was intense. I have never done something. I was dying and it was a beginner's class. I was dying from the simplest moves, and I was in shape. I was like, how weak am I? But it wasn't that I was weak. It was that my muscles weren't used to moving in that specific way. Your muscles get used to moving in specific ways and are strong in those ways. So don't be discouraged if you ever can't do something that's new. That's 100% normal, even if you have the strength. Having the strength simply helps you adjust quicker or makes it easier. That's all. Now, time-wise, I don't schedule specific times of day. I have time, I'm in the mood, I do it. My only plan is to work out that day. I don't really think too far ahead if I don't need to. Unless I have plans, like if I have plans tomorrow, then I know I need to do my workout probably earlier. I may need to plan to do it in the evening, but it's usually that I need to plan to do it earlier in the morning. So it depends what I'm doing. But just stay flexible in general and don't stress yourself out. I'm stressed out about my dancing and how it's declined a little bit. But I'll get back into it. I'm going to work on that plan and I'll keep you guys posted. Is there anything you guys want to learn to do that you think you could be super excited about, or something you used to do and you want to get back into it? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for listening to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'd like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show, write a nice review. It really helps us out. Also, if you can please follow us on Twitter and Instagram, we can keep in touch. I will update you, give you extra advice, and I want to hear your stories, how your progress is going, what questions you have. And thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
You've been listening to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, and any app where you listen to podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of the shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, from business news to weird news, we cover it all. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook and listen to these podcasts on YouTube. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's podcast.